पवन, कैसा रहा आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैट का? टोटल एक्सपीरियंस आप आई थिंक स्लॉट 2 में थे, तो आपका
Yeah,
एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा?
there is lot to the and if I say experience was fairly nice, and
हम्म,
now most of the students and everyone is talking about just what will be the score, how the percentile will
हम्म,
increase or decrease. But I think the score per means score will increase for the 90 percentile or 99 percentile this time, as
हम्म,
Quant and DILR was fairly a little bit easier compared to the last time. VRC, I will
हम्म.
say that it was the same wavelength as last time. It was same tricky, and it was a little bit similar to the last time, but quants and DILR were easier as compared to CAT 2023.
या यू आर करेक्ट। यस्टरडे इवन काफी क्लासेस में जब भी हम कर रहे थे, तो हमेशा क्वेश्चन वो स्कोर इन परसेंटाइल का ही बार बार आ रहा था। तो बेसिकली माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज वेरी सिंपल। अब तो कैट हो गया है, तो इतना उसमें एनालिसिस क्या करना है? तो आपका जो marks हैं वो तो is caught up right now, and you can't change anything. But then also, yes, yesterday many of the people talked about the score and the percentile. Obviously, we know that the CAT 2024 is much easier than the CAT 2023. लेकिन कितना easier है वो, अगर हम स्केल में 1 to 10 स्केल में बोले डिफिकल्टी लेवल के, एंड इफ विल से कैट 2024 को अगर 2023 को अगर हम 10 की डिफिकल्टी डालेंगे, 0 is the least difficulty and the 10 is the highest difficulty, then 2023 would be hovering, 2024 would be hovering around the difficulty level of 8 or 7 to 8. So
Yes,
बहुत कम नहीं था, लेकिन फिर भी एक 3 to 3 points नीचे ही था। Now, see, before moving to the score percentile, I want to even talk about the trends we see in the chat and particularly in the IIMs. IIMs में अगर आप 2014 और 16 के टाइम्स में देखते हैं, तो पूरा बैच सिर्फ आईआईटियंस का ही होता था। उस समय हम ये मानते थे कि अगर आप आईआईटी से हैं तो आप आईआईएम में, या मतलब आईआईएम का अगर बैच होगा तो 80-90% इसमें आईआईटियंस होते हैं। लेकिन अगर 15, 16, इवन 17, अगर कैट भी आप देखते थे, जो एंट्रेंस है उसका, अगर एंट्रेंस ही पूरा क्वांट बेस्ड या क्वांट सेंट्रिक हो जाए, तो ऑब्वियसली वो एंट्री पॉइंट पे ही आपने सबको फिल्टर कर दिया। तब ऑल द नॉन इंजीनियर्स आर एक्चुअली हैव मूव्ड आउट ऑफ इट। तो उसका रिजल्ट्स भी दिखता था। पूरा बैच में जाओ तो डाइवर्सिटी का तो जीरो, यू विल कीप 0 points टू द आंसर, or even the male female ratio was like very skewed up. Now, what exactly it impacted in? जब आप एक बिजनेस स्कूल्स की बात करते हैं, तो usually we actually compare, when we say IIMs, we will compare it with all the global scenario. अब ग्लोबल सिनेरियो में आपके अगर बैच में डाइवर्सिटी ही नहीं, और आपके पूरे बैच में सिर्फ इंजीनियर्स हैं, या आपके पूरे बैच में टोटल इंडियंस ही हैं, तो आप ग्लोबल स्कूल तो है ही नहीं। ग्लोबल स्कूल का मीनिंग क्या हो? ग्लोबल स्कूल का मीनिंग, अगर इन द लेमन लैंग्वेज विल से, global school means it will represent the representation of the students would be in the same percentage as the world's population. अगर world population में 30% Chinese हैं या 20% Indians हैं, same should be reflecting the global school. So global school ranking में IIMs always used to be, I can even say that IIM was never considered a global school till that time. Now, but when the economy opens and the world opens, obviously global ranking will matter. Even आपके placements के time, jobs के time, career के time, the global ranking will matter. Reason being, अब आपके जो high paying jobs हैं, वो तो MNC में आएंगे, क्योंकि जो MNC वर्ल्ड वाइड रन कर रही है, उसका जो फाइनेंस का या जो मनी उसका power hoga, you will never, a national company will struggle to, take that kind of a power. Now, in that sense, what exactly I think from 18 and 19, what we started seeing was that Maybe it was a conscious decision or anything, but there was a clear trend. मतलब 20, 21, 22, 23 was an aberration. Now, how I say it is an aberration? Now, uh, अगर हम difficulty level देखते हैं, I'll just present a screen to you so that even I'll be able to put my point better. अच्छा, it's the same screen as CAT 202. Now, let's say if I'm talking about the difficulty level of the CAT, the service to the, अगर हम difficulty level पे एक graph लेते हैं, तो अगर this is a difficulty level, let's say, if this was 2021, then 2022 was somewhere close to this, and 2023 was somewhere close to this. But 2024 थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे end किया है, तो I will not say कि मतलब somewhere close to this level. So obviously मार्क्स भी इंप्रूव करेंगे, तो अगर मैं स्कोर वर्सेस परसेंटाइल का बेसिस लेता हूँ, तो 2021 if you'll say you were hitting 99 percentile at what point? 76 I think to 78. ठीक है, बट सेम थिंग अगर हम देखते हैं 202, no sorry, just a minute, 2023, just a minute. When I'm talking about the 2023, you're hitting 99 percentile at somewhere 76 to 78. अब वही चीज हम 2021 में देखते हैं, तो 99 अगर हम परसेंटाइल देख रहे हैं, तो we were hitting it at 97 I think 98, 97 or 98. अब हम थोड़ा सा नीचे हिट करने वाले हैं, मतलब बेसिकली 2024 if I will talk about, it will hit you somewhere close to the 99 percentile, should be hitting close to 93 to 95. This is what my understanding is. So what exactly has happened? I stopped the sharing. Okay. Now, talking about the trends when we talk about, and straight away from 2020, अगर हम even IM के बैच का trends देखते हैं, तो उसमें non-engineers started coming a lot. Even the male female, that ratio actually also started doing much better than compared to the previous years. So when I looked at the 2023, it was more of an aberration. मतलब वो एक जो हम देख रहे थे एक trend in which the focus on the quant started moving towards the verbal and the DALR. So verbal and the DALR started becoming much more, I would say, focused, or I would say the sections which were deciding who are the toppers, the decision makers. So when we talk about the 202, when I look from 2020 and 2024 till this time, what I'm seeing is the trend is CAT is looking much more like a GMAT, where the focus, or I would say decision maker sections, are more verbal in the DLR. So what I understand of the whole thing is the test is moving more towards IQ based test rather than in academic knowledge based test. See, what's the difference between academic knowledge based test is you must be, when I talk with the academic knowledge, you must be very thorough with the maths or English or everything like that. Just like in GMAT, we used to have a section by the name section, sentence correction, which used to be total grammar. So I always assumed that sentence correction made the whole verbal into a more English test. But when the section was moved out, the same thing became much more, I would say, much more IQ based. और क्या फर्क होता है? Academic knowledge जो based test होता है, उस टेस्टिंग में आपके जो subject knowledge matters. But when it is an IQ based test, इसमें understanding matters. For example, I'll give you a RC और a passage, और आप passage पढ़ेंगे और passage पढ़ने के बाद आप उसके जो भी understand करते हैं. So you don't need any knowledge for that. So the same thing started in CAT, and 2023 was an aberration. I felt in 2023, Quant took much more control in that test. But when I look at 2024, the same trend of 201, 21, 2022, same kind of a trend we see in 2024. And I can once more say that it is moving much more like a GMAT kind of a test. So one point very clearly that it is becoming much more IQ centric test compared to an academic knowledge based test. Now, the next thing which I would like to talk about was when the verbal and the DILR section now has started becoming much more the decision making sections. I meant to say, Quant looks more like a qualifying kind of a test, and where the whole decision of the people moving from 98 percentile or 99 percentile would be decided by the more like verbal or the DLR. Now, what is the point with the DLR and the verbal? The DLR, you can have an exact answer. In DLR, मैं एक क्वेश्चन करूंगा तो I can have an exact answer and I can go into the option and mark it. But verbal is not like that. Verbal may, if you are not prepared, I'll talk about what I'm saying when I say prepared. So verbal may, all the options are very much close to each other. Rather, they are in overlapping set sense. Overlapping set sense. So in the verbal, what I understand is DLR compared to DLR, verbal is much more tricky to handle. Why verbal is so much thing is reason being, I always see, I'll give some kind of a tips for all the prospective students here. If you're looking at the verbal, even while preparation, don't consider it as a test of understanding of yours. So focus on the understanding aspect. Second main point is CR is taking over the set. The CR right now, the critical reasoning is actually taking over a summary-based questioning. Number three, when I'm talking about is when in CAT particularly, not in the GMAT. GMAT, you don't have a chance to choose questions. You have to try each and every question. But CAT is more about strategizing which questions you will go for. You will select the points, you will select the questions. These are the questions I'm going to go for. You are not going to go 24 verbal or 22 DLR. So what exactly happens with that is when you move into it, let's say a verbal kind of a test, when you move into, let's say, the options without having predicted an answer, you will have your accuracy will suffer a lot. So what the point I'm saying is, while selecting, the first strategy of yours should be don't only look at the passage, rather choose your passage on the basis of the questions. Okay, look at the questions. If, like, for example, in this CAT 2024, very easy passages, but many of the questions what CR based, जो infer वाला question होता है ना, वो in CR is the most difficult questions to handle. So avoid CR जितना हो सकता है. If you are choosing the sets, अगर आप choose set कर रहे हैं, so usually what people do is whatever the set they find much more friendlier और उन्हें अच्छा लगता है understanding में, they will choose it. But don't do that. Choose your passage on the basis of the questions. Okay, that will make much more difference. One more thing is, don't move into the options till the time you have predicted an answer. If you are moving into the options, let's say there is a question stem and you're moving to into the options without having an answer, there is a 50% chance of you marking the wrong thing. My point is, what I have seen in many of the exams is, if you are what we say have predicting an answer before moving to the options, your accuracy level will become very high. Now, I will talk about the pattern even of the verbal. 16 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, 16 RC three summary, three fill-ups, or you may call it para completion, and two the odd ones. Odd one जो theta है वो बहुत easy है. That is the first. वो सबसे पहले वही करना है. Reason being you have to the low hanging fruit you have to pick. So theta pick कर लिया. आपने वो pick कर लिया. उसके बाद even when you look at the RC, when you look at the summary, even when you look at the para completion, it is all based upon the understanding. I meant to say you don't need any knowledge of English to handle that kind of a thing. So when you are working on the verbal, आप एक passage पढ़ के, if you are able to understand the main ideas, or some you able to summarize it, you would be in a very good position to handle any verbal test. So this is one of the thing I want to talk about now. Now, uh, talking about the elephant in the room, which is CAT 2023 comparison, which I've already shown you. Let me show by screen. अगर आप screen से ज़्यादा समझेंगे, बच्चों को screen पसंद है. See, just a minute. Let's say if I'm talking about CAT 2023 या 2024, let's talk about Q. I'm only talking about the 99 percentile, okay? Just to make you better understanding. Q में 23 में, पवन आप मुझे करेक्ट करिएगा if I'm wrong. जितना मुझे याद है, I think Q में 2023 we were hitting at 29, I think. Right now 2024 will go for somewhere close to 32 to 30. You will hit 99 percentile if you're reaching this number.
Yes.
7 to 8 क्वेश्चन तो बहुत इजी था. मतलब वो रिमाइंडर पे इसका 100 divided by 7, what is the remainder for 100 power.
Yes,
There were
I
many questions,
understand.
mixtures, allegation, distance, time, easy questions. Even one more thing I want to talk about in Quant. Quant don't see any question as difficult or easy. मैं पवन आप मुझे बताइएगा मैं कितना सही हूँ इसमें. I think the only every CAT question is easy. The only difference is some question might be lengthy. You will see divide the whole thing into time consuming and not time consuming. I'll say time consuming वाला difficult है. मतलब the lengthy time जो ले रहा है वो difficult है. Rather question तो कोई भी difficult नहीं है if you put the equations forward and take the steps. What do
You
you
can
say,
easily
Pawan?
solve it.
मेरा कितना सही हूँ उसमें है? Pawan is very good in maths, so I think he's the best person to vouch for it.
Yeah, I think this time Quant was something a little bit easier to the compared to the previous years. And if you compare the questions and the type of questions, so you can just say that all the questions that are asked or that are usually asked in quants in CAT is that they can be solved. Each and every question is solved. But the main question is how much time do you have for it? If you spend
Correct.
too much time on a question that is very lengthy to solve or involving three or more equations or something like that, then it will consume your time. And the same time can be invested to the other questions that can be easier. So first thing that you have to do in CAT is that you have to choose which questions to target and just target the easy questions first. After that, the questions which will take your a little bit of more time, let's say medium difficulty, and last save the time for the higher difficulty, means hard difficulty level questions, because just arrange the questions in three levels: easy, medium, and hard, and solve according to those criteria.
तो हम ये कह सकते हैं आराम से कि अगर 6-7 क्वेश्चन आप आराम से कर रहे हैं तो even a person who is not good in maths obviously will reach 18 तक तो आ जाएगा वो अपने आप ही. 18 तक तो आराम से आएगा. तो यहाँ से the steep climb will start, and a person who's I wouldn't call the person very good in maths, but in average maths person can easily reach 28. और बहुत अच्छा जो मैथ्स में will cross 32. दिस इज माई रेंज, लेट्स सी वो होता है जो होता है, लेकिन दिस इज व्हाट आई एम एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द होल थिंग. Now the second thing I'm talking about is the DLR. Okay, when I look at the DLR, कितना 92 हिट करेगा, 99. आप दो सेट तो नहीं कर पाएंगे. आप दो सेट में आप कितने पहुंचेंगे ज्यादा ज्यादा, अगर फोर देयर आर 5 सेट्स, 5 + 5 + 4 + 4 + 4.
Hmm.
If I'm choosing all the 4 + 4 + 4, I'm 12, 36.
36. It will be
हाँ,
easy.
तो
If you
नहीं मेरे
are able to completely solve three sets
नहीं, my
correctly.
understanding is आपके 10 to 13 अगर आप हिट कर रहे हैं,
Yeah.
then only you would reach 90, 99.
Hmm. That will be the
इसका मतलब ये हो गया.
optimum number of questions.
हाँ, इसका मतलब हो गया
DLR will
30 से ये रेंज पे होना चाहिए.
that will be the range. It
लेकिन
depends.
डीएलआर में तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टीचर्स यू ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू से टू सेट्स इन द क्लासेस.
But this time I think they changed. They gave you the five sets instead of four, and questions were changed. But
दिस इज अ वे. यस,
that
क्या या प्लीज.
but I think this time they were more logically oriented and critical thinking type. Because if you see DILR, so two sets were of five questions each, and three sets were of four questions each. So you had to select which sets you have to solve. You can easily solve which sets and the maximum number of questions that you can solve easily. Because if you choose a difficult set to solve or to start with, then it will take your whole time. And as you say, or as everyone knows, the time management or allocation to the correct questions is very important in CAT, because wrong questions always takes or always eats up your time. So focus more on the questions or the sets that you can easily solve, and you can check those sets by just going through the questions and through the set that is provided to you, and you can easily deduce whether you can solve it in a small amount of time or not.
Even one more thing I wanted to add to the discussion is, um, if you're looking for a test like CAT, आप कोशिश करिए कि don't move with a very fixed strategy. Um, this happened in 2023 with me. See, when you give mocks, जब हम जब ज़्यादा prepared होते हैं, so we tend to have a kind of a weakness that we have very defined strategy. हम पहले ही ये जानते हैं कि हमें यही करना है. When you're looking at the cap, I don't think this. You should be very much clear that your strategy should not be fixed. आप वेरिएबल स्ट्रैटेजी से वर्क करिए, एंड वट एवर द सिचुएशन परमिट्स यू, जो सिचुएशन है उस समय. जस्ट लाइक इन डीएलआर 5 + 5 + 4 वाला सेट आया, मतलब 5 सेट 5 + 5 एंड 3 4 क्वेश्चन वाला. So the sets were easy. One of the set was difficult in my slot one. एक some stars were to be given by some surfers to the bloggers and all. So वो मुझे, even the questions I felt it will take time. It's not the point of being difficult, the point of कि कितना time question लेने वाला. I think CAT is all about easy question. The only difference is, even in quant, some questions can be solved in 30 seconds. Some questions might need even beyond 4 to 5 minutes. So 4 to 5 minutes wala hai to go to difficult level. So one of the strategy you should be using every time is go through all the questions. Okay, एक एक क्वेश्चन पे देख लो. Even in your that जो sheet देते हैं आपको, wherever you are writing for the rough work and all, note down all the easy questions. Go through all the questions. Note down the numbers. Take 3 levels: easy, medium, and difficult. I am saying easy and medium difficult should be based upon what the time that question is going to take, rather than nothing. Every question is easy in fact, except the only thing is some question might need time. Take it as that mark that is a difficult one. ठीक है. वर्बल का what I feel is, वर्बल में हिट कैसे करेंगे. Now many people found the verbal as difficult, many people as easy. What I understood of the whole verbal game is, um, अगर आपका प्रिपरेशन अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेस्ड है, या जिसे कहीं IQ based kind of a preparation you have done, then it would be very easy for you. But if you have a preparation strategy और preparation आपने ऐसे किया है या आपको ऐसा पढ़ाया है जिसमें it is more language based और step wise centric है, मतलब जैसे जिसे हम कहते हैं कि जैसे मैं एग्जांपल देता हूँ, many of the teachers teach us in this way, that look at the keywords, look at the join words, conjoint words, joining words, combination words. My understanding is if focus more on आप टेक्निकल jargons, the technical steps पे मत जाइए. Don't try to learn an IQ testing on the basis of the steps. कि पैरा समरी में ऐसा करते हैं, पैराग्राफ में ऐसा करते हैं. This is not the way it happens. The basic idea is if you are able to understand a passage or a paragraph, it would be very easy for you to hit any question. So focus on the understanding without even understanding each and every word in the passage. So focus on the contextual meaning rather than the clear meaning of each and every sentence. कोई भी जरूरी नहीं है. अगर मेन आइडिया मुझे समझ आ गया, even without understanding the difficult phrase or a clause or a sentence, you are would be very hitting a very above 99% at least verbal. My understanding in 2024 is verbal would be the kingmaker, and इसका रेंज होगा 99 का 33 to 36, ये हिट होगा. ओवरऑल आप हिट कर जाएंगे 99 पे, somewhere close to, ऐसा ही बोल 93 to 95, 97. This is a level you must be hitting. So Pawan, what do you say? आप क्या कहते हैं इसमें?
Okay, so I agree with your conclusion that the score for the 99 percentile will increase from as compared to the last time, because last time it was somewhere around 80 or 75, that 99 percentile started from that score. So this time it will increase by 10 or 12 marks because of the easier question paper in all three slots. And as Quant was a little bit easier and DILR was a little bit easier, and BRC being the same difficulty level as the previous years. And I think they are moving to more towards more logical thinking, because DILR, some I faced one question that was more of a, let's say, data insights that you usually see in the GMAT. I faced one question like that. And one question was from the same average and bar graph. So which was a tricky where they were giving the scores or they were giving them points. My was from scoring ratings was there, so they were rating a certain product over the weeks, and different number of ratings and was provided each week. So that was a difficult question that you can easily check by going through the questions, that it will consume a lot more amount of the time. So you have to think which set to attempt in the DILR. And for the quants, I will say that they reduced the difficulty level this time, because a number of the questions or most of the questions were easy to solve, but you had to think about it, that how much time was invested or how much time you have to invest on it, and whether you should leave this question because it will consume more time according to you, or it will consume less time, because again, quants, which section to pick up and which section to leave, it totally depends on the student. Some students are good at algebra, some are good at arithmetic, and some are good at geometry because they can relate with the shapes. So you have to pick the questions which you are best at, or the sections which you are best at, and solve them. And don't take it over your ego. Don't think that this question is from, let's say, that speed, time, and distance, and I am very good at it. So just spend your time solving that question and waste your time. So you have to know when to give up and when to pursue a question. If you think that I don't know this question and I am not familiar with algebra, and this question seem doable, I can apply the concepts and easily solve it, then go to it, just rather than leaving it as it is because it is from algebra. So don't take your personal preferences from the mocks or from the study that you have done. Just look at the questions objectively, whether you can solve it correctly within the given time, and then solve it. Otherwise, leave the question whether you are good at that particular topic or not. And same for the DILR, I would say, because five sets of varying difficulty were there. So you had to choose which you can solve very easily and which you can solve or which will take more time. So just take the questions, and sometimes questions also depend, because it is not necessary that you have to completely solve the set. You just have to fill the certain data, and the rest of the data can be of uncertainty. So one question was there, so it was uncertainty because it was leaving cases open. So most of the time what a student will think, he will think that just leave this question because there are cases open and I cannot fully conclude to a particular case. But that may be a trick, because the next question or the third or fourth question of the same DILR set may be based on that uncertainty. So just check the questions and what level or what type of questions they are asking, and according to that solve your set. Because if you are filling up the sets or arranging anything, so there may be cases when the set is leaving it open, means a particular answer is not achieved in that, so it will be posing you a difficulty. And for VARC, passages were very important, because you had to think on your feet and know which passages to solve. So let's say that if you are good at critical thinking or inference type question or summary type questions, then some passages are totally based on those type of questions, and some passages are totally based on the descriptive type, and you have to find out the answers from the passage only. So usually those type of passages are very easy to solve, so you have to think on that. And for para completion and para summary, you have to check the questions and solve accordingly according to your preferences, as mine is a little bit weaker in VARC. And theta questions, you can solve them, attempt them, because they don't carry a negative marking. And if you get it right and if you can easily solve it correctly, then you get plus points. So I would say that everyone should at least attempt the theta questions. Whether maybe your probability of solving those questions correctly may be wrong, but if you just give it 30 seconds or 40 seconds, then you can solve it correctly. So it may improve your score by a lot. And as for the percentile and score versus percentile, and I would go with the same analysis as you have concluded that the 99 percentile score this year will be higher than the last year, and we may see a difference of 12 to 13 marks.
One thing actually, whenever the test is easy, एक अच्छा होता है कि the next day everyone is in good mood. Even the teachers and the students. Teachers think कि वो सभी most of the teachers felt that they have done very well, and even the students feel the same way. So ये अच्छा होता है. You have good vibes or more positivity. I think 2023, after the 2023, many of the people were not in a good mood, I would say. I was in a good mood, but many of the students and teachers were not. अच्छा चलो अब end करते हैं. See, the people who have done well in CAT this year, best of luck, okay? कभी आपका आंसर किया आ जाएगा तो best of luck for it. The people who haven't done good, see, life will keep on throwing things to you, okay? So जब भी आपका लग गया तो that's what you need. So there will be ZAT coming, NMAT coming, SNAP coming, many other things will come. Rather, why should I only talk about these business schools? लाइफ में टोटलिटी में आपको कभी भी सिचुएशन ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आपको चांस नहीं होता. इवन हमेशा होता है. इवन इफ यू आर 70 year old and let's say you have nothing in your life, even 80 year, I would say, and let's say an 80-year-old rickshaw puller is there, or anyone is there who hasn't done much in their life, but life keeps on giving you opportunities. So what the point I'm saying is, एक बॉल में, अगर क्रिकेट का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ सो दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल विल अंडरस्टैंड, अगर एक बॉल आपको आप ठीक से नहीं खेल पा रहे, इट डजंट मींस यू आर नॉट ए गुड बैट्समैन. द ओनली थिंग इज यू जस्ट नीड वन, यू नो, एक हिट चाहिए जो बिल्कुल कनेक्ट हो जाए एंड द सिक्सर विल बी देयर. सो द व्हाट लाइफ विल डू इज वो आपको बॉल डालता जाएगा और वो आप सोएंगे, अगले दिन सुबह उठेंगे, वन मोर चांस. एवरी डे यू विल कीप ऑन गेटिंग चांसेस. तो जो पीपल हु हैवंट डन वेल इन कैट, इट्स नॉट द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. रादर मुझे लगता है कि फेलियर्स आपको ज्यादा सिखाता है और फेलियर्स मेक्स यू ए बेटर पर्सन. Usually, most of the people, what they feel is if they haven't done well in CAT, so it is a reflection for the life. It is not. Many of the people actually know what they want in their life and what they want to do in their life only when they reach 25 or 30. That is CAT or by says ki age पे. I meant to say, don't ever think that this is the end of the world. कुछ नहीं होता है. Even 80-year old के लिए नहीं है. तो आपके लिए तो मतलब ही नहीं. So just always remember one thing: life is very beautiful. Okay, so focus on the positive aspect. So always एक अपने life में एक अपनी एक पोस्टर लगा के रख लो कि life is beautiful. Yeah, चलिए, thank you, thanks for joining.